Yuri, because I
Oh,
can't
Yuri.
pronounce it
Oh, okay.
correctly.
Fair. All right, Yuri. You got it, buddy. Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah, like just the idea of you running the shop again and a return to normalcy,
Exactly.
right? No more demons for a little bit, you know.
Even though I was
For a
kind of
little
into
Yeah,
it.
bit.
a
I was
little bit.
kind of into it, but
Yeah, but it's intense. Cool. Yeah, so when you heal, you automatically recover level 1 wounds. It's not a big deal. Cool. Good deals. Good deals. What else would we like to do? It's a good downtime.
So I kind of want to do multiple things with my downtime. And it's probably very likely going to so I want to ask the rest of the as players about this. I'm considering purposefully overindulging and becoming lost. But the question is, would me playing a different character make sense, or would just a time skip until she came back be appropriate here? Because I can whip up another character very quickly if that's the direction we wanted to take it.
You want to whip up another character?
I was
For the
thinking
time
about
being?
Well,
Yeah.
well, that's the thing, right? Like if you want to be lost, you have to play another character, and you can't just be like, well, we time skipped it, and so my lost thing doesn't matter, right?
Well, I mean, theoretically we could, but that's up to other people.
I'm cool with that if you want to do that and let other people do some downtimes. And
As long
What
as
are you
you're not
thinking? Do you
called
have an idea?
Oquieto Aburicus
Yeah.
or whatever this name is.
Well,
Holy crap.
Yeah. Good old roll 20 random generator.
Oh, random names.
I like Oquiato. That's a kind of cool name.
Oquiato?
Yeah. I'm feeling it.
But, I mean, it's up to you. I think
Oquiato
it's
is
totally cool.
Nope, we're doing it. All right, so I need to actually play that out as far as doing my indulging in my vice. I would like to take Costa with me.
Okay. Are you guys lizard on a stick?
Yeah. So we're going to start out with Lizard on a Stick. We're going to go out to a very nice dinner at the Golden Plum.
Okay.
And I think from there, we're going to maybe go on a little road trip. Let's see. So I get 1 bonus die for doing it with Costa. Doing it.
6.
Oh, dang. All right, so...
So you have 2 stress left.
Yeah. And so I'm going to indulge my... So we go out this nice night on the town and have a beautiful dinner. And then I think Jewel, is deep into her cups and leans across the table and is like, Costa, I've seen some bad things. I want to get out of here for a while.
I think Casa normally would be like, what, tell me more? But I feel like you're being so serious right now that she's actually just going to completely be like, she's like, you get closer. Is there an opportunity for her to grab your hand or whatever?
Yeah, I totally was gonna say I think she reaches across the
this thing, right?
And,
You're holding their hand kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she's without a word, she nods. Because you have a certain gravity when you say this, I think, right? You have a there's something about your tone that makes her just go oh yeah, no, you're not fucking kidding around, right? Normally you're about let's start shit, let's do some stuff, right? And you're being I need a break, and it's very clear you have that Yeah,
All right,
anyways,
there's a chance that I will roll nothing but 1s and 2s on this die roll.
that's completely possible too.
So let's see what happens. And oh no, my pop-up didn't pop up. Try again. There it is. No, all right, fine. Perfect. I overindulge. And like there's like this scene of Jewel like grabbing like after they pay for their meal, like just running or walking very quickly, at least, with Costa hand in hand down to the docks and getting on a ship.
Yeah, nice. I like it. Cool.
Yeah. All right, now you guys do some downtime. I'm gonna whip out another character. Probably going to. She's probably like.
Are you gonna go back to the Dagger Isles?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's what I figured. Like
That's where we're going to the dag. We're going home for a quick minute.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I love that.
Yeah.
it's the ultimate vice, right? Like she goes to eat lizard on a stick to get a taste of home.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just not doing it. And I'm like, let's get out of here. And then we get on a boat and we go to the Dagger Islands.
Nice.
Let's get out of this town.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, there's so much Bruce Springsteen.
Oquiato
right now.
is maybe one of the girls in the stable. And that's how she knows everybody. Like, are you all right with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
What were you thinking about
Playbook wise?
Yeah.
Um,
And then I guess I'll probably just keep off of character sheet page for a little bit.
I hadn't actually decided. Do you guys? I kind of was thinking possibly Lurk or possibly Spider, or not Spider. Sorry, Whisper. How do you guys feel about either one of those?
Either one sounds fine to me.
Those are
Right. I'll figure it out. I'll come back to you with an introduction.
I don't think you could have picked something that I would have been like, no, don't play that.
right. Exactly.
I'm gonna go ahead and be another slide and just follow around follow Vale around and just mimic everything she says.
Okay. I mean, if
I'm
that's what
doing
you want to
her
do.
Not even.
You're gonna end up getting murdered, but you can do that.
All right, I'm gonna make this.
Wait a second. Could you actually do this? Here's a theoretical scenario. Can you actually flash back to be like, well, you know, so and so goes to talk to somebody. Oh, I want to take a flashback right here. I'm meeting with them privately, or like they're looking at a note on their desk and it says, "Don't believe next person." You know what I mean? Like your PC. Like, for example, like you would be like, "I'm gonna flash back," at, you know, because you know Vale's gonna have a meeting. Can you actually set someone up to be in a desperate situation?
Sure, if you wanted to, I think.
Good, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, generally you want to set someone up to be in a better situation.
But this
you
is
know?
it's good.
Yeah, I know you absolutely do most of the time, but just to like, I don't know.
Power level.
I never thought that you could like take an action to actually decrease as well. Not, I mean, it's technically PvP, but it's also more like, I guess, I don't know. As long as you talk to the player, be like, hey, would it be cool? Like we have a little bit of beef, or like, hey, I want to test you about this thing. Are you cool with it? Are you comfortable with it? I don't know. Anyways, I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Let me come up with my character while the rest of people do downtime, and then we'll figure out how to mess up her life.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Awesome. Cool. Sierra, do you have
So, yeah, I mean, I have to indulge in Vice, and I think like fictionally, like that's what he went to do, right? Like he probably didn't go meet anyone. He didn't go see if Vale and Jewel or Aedric were okay. He just went to get a fix and
I have a question for
shoot
you.
up some blood needle.
I have a question for you here.
Yeah.
Do you think Vampire Senpai is a new vice for you? Do you think
It
they're
could be.
like in the form of obligation?
It could be.
Do you see it that way? Does Seer see it that way?
Well,
or is it a little less? Is it just like a professional mentor? You know, like it's not as rigid or demanding as perhaps I'm thinking.
yeah, but I think because he is so willingly throwing himself at Vampire Senpai, at them, uh, like it may not seem as vicey as like doing hard drugs, which is current vices. But I mean, I would be open to it if
Oh.
it would be more
I'm not-
interesting for you to change my vice and
No,
go for
no,
that
it's
instead.
not. I mean, I can still. I'll play with that as much as I want. I was just asking you if that's interesting for you to do. I'm cool with either. It doesn't really change me at all. I just want to give you that opportunity as a way for your character to change and evolve based on what you've done.
Yeah. How about this one time? He's still going to just forget about everything. But maybe next time we'll see if I can indulge with the Vampire Senpai instead. Because it's been like a thing that I do like definitely go back to like a lot, right? As Seer. So I can see it being set up as that. But for right now, he's doing Blood Needle, and I think he's alone because he really didn't went out of his way to go, do it party style.
Oh yeah.
So no bonus dice, and I do recover 5.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
You were at 8, correct? Yeah.
I was at 8, so now I'm at 3, which is probably gonna be good enough.
You can always spend a coin to get that right amount of high.
Nah, I think it's good like this. Do you have another one, Asteyni?
Yeah. I also want to indulge in my vice. So Nirix and I are going to go mask shopping at Zamira's, as we do.
Okay.
I got to remember where the thing is on the sheet to roll that.
It's
under
right
portrait?
under background, and where your vice is at the top.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So I get 1 bonus die for taking Nirix along for the ride. And then how this goes, 5. 5 isn't bad. I'll take 5.
Nice. Well, you had 6 stress. That's really good.
Yeah. I was hoping for a 6 to completely clear it out,
Well,
though.
if you want to spend a coin, you can, right?
No, I can handle 1 stress.
Okay. Cool. Good recoveries. So I think those are both of your moves, your free moves, Asteyni.
Yeah, I might be using my coin to take extra moves. We'll see what Seer wants to do
Okay.
first.
Yeah. We don't have heat, so I don't need to clear any of that. Which is pretty good. God, I don't know. Let's It's been a while since we played, so I'm like not really sure where things were going, and I really don't have enough clocks started already to work on them. I guess I can continue in framing Stasia.
Yeah. I mean,
Or you could help me on my clock. I don't know.
What is that?
I'm working on setting up the 10 penny quartz as a personal clothier. So that would kind of like end our claims.
mm-hmm.
So if I like what and you want to like spend a coin on working on that?
Yeah, I probably will. It's a 4 clock and I have 1 filled in.
So what's a clock description now? Because I could like maybe acquire an asset that would help you in that, something like that.
I mean, all I have on the description is 10 penny quartz to personal clothier. I think I'm more just like kind of thinking of stuff to do to make that happen. And I think it was mostly just to reopen the theater and get that running. And then once we did that, it would become our personal clothier.
Yeah, you tried to. Oh, you did open it, but it was a horrible failure.
Yes. So basically, getting it up and running as a self-sustaining thing and not being a piece of shit.
All right. Well, let's have Seer acquire an asset where he finds like a bunch of nice fabrics that fell off the back of a goat wagon. And he's like, "Hey, I found this stuff. We could totally use that, right?"
So you're gonna help them with acquiring an asset.
Yeah.
Okay.
As like kind of a setup to thing, because you need like a lot of cloth for costumes and also disguises and stuff like that. So just so
you're
they
getting the
have
raw materials, to help them for the next play and stuff.
They have a good stock, and hopefully, if I can get some good quality stuff, then we could have like a sweet disguise with like mustaches.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see how good this was, and let's see if you were stealing from someone you shouldn't have or something. I'm turning on that truck.
I mean, I think it's not him stealing it. It's like, there's a guy that's like talking about it, and then Sierra's like, "Hey, maybe I could like get some of that. I'll take some of it off your hands."
That's always how it starts.
So,
you know a guy. It's a sure thing.
Yeah, like Seer knows guys, right? Nice fabrics for theater. We go. My number of dice is equal to our tier, right?
I believe so. At this point, I think it's. Let's see. Doesn't tell you in the actual Hawker sheet. I have to add the other handouts. I believe if I am right, it's you roll tier for acquiring an asset.
Right. So
we're or ability.
Tier 1. 5. Pretty good.
5.
So this would be standard.
Let me give you the. I'm right here. Okay. Yeah, it's so you roll tier. Yeah, so it's a standard quality, which means it's tier 1, right?
Yeah. I would probably just leave it at tier 1 because I know that theater is shit because I've been there. I've watched the play with Vampire Senpai, and it was a shit show. So I'm probably not gonna spend.
We're trying to improve it. We're trying to invest in it.
Yeah, but like not with my money.
Okay, so you got these raw materials. Okay, what I would say is this certainly would help with the long-term asset project clock once Asteyni actually works on it, right? Because the clock doesn't give you anything by itself. It's when you put that to use, and that's what I would consider. I would count that as like supplies and being able to work on this clock. Does that make sense? You're muted. You're muted.
If I do spend a coin, could she maybe get like an extra die when she works on the project?
Well, yeah, because then you're upping the quality of the silks from being like your standard silks to being like super high quality silks. That's fine
right.
quality. Remember,
I think it's
you a good bonus.
I think she would actually do that because last time Vale and Seer had a heart-to-heart, she called him useless. So I think that could be a thing he would do actually.
Okay.
Come to think of it. So yeah, I'll spend a coin. I'll upgrade it to fine. So be like, hey, and specifically to show off, like, look at what I can do, Vale.
All that's proving is that Vale needs to keep riding your butt because that gets shit done.
Right.
All right. I don't I don't know anything else other than this guy, but your contact, your hawker here is Milos. Milos the bird, and he's selling you these cloths. Totally legit. They just import. They got stuck in they're Iruvian silks. They just got hung up in port or whatever. Now they got to get sold, or they had some kind of the ship was infested with some kind of rare Iruvian termite. They wouldn't let it in, and so they had to offload this stuff at dump it prices. And their loss is your gain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you got some nice silk.
Cool. Awesome.
I'll make a note under here.
So I think that means that it might be time to put on another play.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I'm going to spend a coin so I can take the extra downtime action.
Okay.
Obviously, we're going to be using the silks that Seer provided to make some kick-ass costumes. Gonna promote the shit out of it by railing the previous cast and saying that they have left the theater in disgrace and now we have all new talent.
Oh, cool. It's brand new. This leaf has so many sides to turn over.
I'm trying to... Okay, so would this be like a...
Is it? Yeah.
Is it a trait roll or is it a fortune roll? I don't remember.
It's a trait.
Well, I'm trying to manipulate people to come see my play and convince them to do something they wouldn't normally do, so...
I mean, going to a play is... I don't know.
You're trying to sway opinion.
I'm trying to sway them to come see my... I'm trying to persuade them to come see my play.
To give it another shot. The people of Crow's Foot.
Wait a minute. Shoot, I clicked the wrong thing. How do I roll just a trait? Again?
You click the name.
So there, when you want to roll a thing, it's gonna ask you what position it's in, but it's a fortune roll technically. So you could just roll the fortune button and then tell it however many dots you have in your.
Okay.
Is there any chance you can pull us over to the stat screen, Eric, so that I can power game?
I can tell you I have force sway.
Yep.
I know you. I know you've got the most ridiculous in every.
I have sway for days.
I know.
4 sway, 3 command, and 3 consort. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And nothing and anything else.
People do what I tell them, and so I don't need to do the other stuff because I tell other people to do it for me.
Yep.
So, what are we power gaming this roll, Kelsa, or am I rolling?
No, for my character creation.
I see. Okay, so I'm just going. I'm just going to roll it. 6.
Okay. Here's a detail I need to ask you about then. To help you out here. So if you're trying to sway opinions, what are you really selling them on? What is the new thing here? What is the thing that catches their eye? What is the... Well, we're not... Is it just that you're not the original crew? What is it that you're enticing people with? You know what I mean? What is the...
I think the advertisement is under new management, whole new cast, all new director, never before seen kind of thing. If I am interpreting that correctly.
So how
if I'm not, then please.
Yeah, no. You succeeded with a 6, so it was whatever you did was extremely successful.
I think what ended up happening,
what that looked like,
is that the thing that I'm getting that is enticing the people the most is that maybe the Tenpenny Court was known for a certain kind of play, and I'm imagining it being like slapstick comedies or something like really low down, really based. And maybe I do something like I bring like not like an opera because that's too much, but like a really dramatic musical interpretation of something, and it's something different. It's something that they haven't seen before.
Oh yeah. Something. Is it foreign? Is it written? Who wrote it? Like,
is it Taika Rossi and you brought in your good friend Otto to oversee the production?
Yeah, like I guess I'm wondering as well, what else would make it kind of like unique then, or like who wrote this play? Like if it's not a popular play, then like where did you hear of it? Why did you pick it? Why is this play so cool? Because like definitely have this picture of like the first act of like your show was going really poorly. Like people were like, "What the fuck is this? Why we pay money?" And some people get like offering refunds, but then the people who stuck around. Then like during like the intermission or whatever, they're like, "What the fuck? That was awesome!" And like other people are like, "Wait, what? Really?" And they're like, they're like going back for like their tickets. Like, no, I want to go back. Let me go back in. And like by the end of it, people are all just like,
it's just like mind blowing. Yes,
being like, "Oh my god, this was the best thing ever!" Right? Like I imagine there was just this flip, right? And everybody standing ovations, tears going down their face. Just the Citizen Kane, Like this was just a prolific thing, and now I want to know what that was. Though.
Okay,
I think fun. I want to run with this a little bit because this is like a big deal. Crowsfoot is in love with this play, so I want to know what play this is.
Okay, so I think what it is
the
that
Doskvol equivalent of Hamilton.
It's pretty much, yeah. Basically, I think what it is that there was a story that I loved as a child, and I had heard through the grapevine or whatever of this new Taika Rossi playwright, and I reached out to them and I said, this story is really important to Akros, and can you represent it in a way to make them fall in love with it again? And they turned it into this musical and this drama, but they made it kind of weird because they're not from Akros, so it's almost like an outsider perspective, but at the same time it's a love story to Akros, and so that's what makes them fall in love with it.
Beautiful.
So you said it's a children's stories. Can you just give me? You don't have to explain the whole plot of the play, right? I'm not asking you to do that. The
story that you hear as a child is different than a children's story.
Like, what is the basic gist of the story?
Is
it like about like a Leviathan hunter, that falls in love? Is it like Carmen, but like?
I mean, yeah, we can go with that. I'm not too attached to what it is.
No, okay. I'm just wondering because like I imagine like kids in the street of Crowsfoot are like reenacting like
yes,
you know what I mean? So like I want to know what it's about, and so like now everyone wears fucking tricorn hats or some shit. You know what I mean? Like this is impactful. So I'm just trying to get a quick little detail so I can make a detail.
Okay, so maybe it's a Leviathan hunter that falls in love with some sort of sea goddess who is protector of the Leviathans, and it's like a tragic love story.
Okay. Nice.
It's a tragic children's love story.
Well, I mean that's really fitting of the times, to be fair.
So like we're gonna like, all right. So like over the course of the few times, like we're getting ready to go to break now because it's about the hour part, so we're ready for our next break. But like so we're gonna like there's standing ovations, and then we see like like a very light daylight cycle of Duskvol as we just kind of like like it's kind of speeds up, and then like we see like kids coming out, and like one of them is like wearing like a little like a bag or like a poorly niche like little like squid face thing, and like fighting another guy with a tricorn hat kid with a sword like going to the streets and blah blah blah. Like this is a big deal, and people love this play and they love your interpretation, so that's awesome.
So how many ticks on my clock do I get for that?
You got the whole fucking thing. You got the
okay thing. So we have that now.
Yeah. The Tenpenny Courts is yours. It's established as yours, and everyone is like really impressed by how highbrow, I guess, the culture and entertainment is of Tenpenny right now.
And this is why I'm not the main character of this. Because I get too much shit done.
Cool.
Right?
So, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So let's go ahead and let's go to our first break, and then we'll be back here with some more Never Sunny. There we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Going into the second hour here of It's Never Sunny in Doskvol. So, thanks for joining in. So, how about, Kelsa, you talk to us a little bit about your new character. You're muted.
Thanks. I thought I had muted myself, but apparently I had. Anyway, my new character is named Oquiato, and she is Takarosi with bright blonde hair. She's a very svelte woman with delicate features and an open face. She's the kind of person you want to trust, which is really good because her current occupation is as a whore at the Painted Lady. And as a one of the Painted Ladies, you could say, being very approachable is very important. She is often known just called Atto instead of Acquiato, as a shortening of her name. And she is a lurk who is, her special ability is reflexes. When there's a question about who acts first, the answer is Atto.
Did you take your action rating point for our Silver Tongues crew
Yes, I
advance?
did.
Right.
I put that into Consort. I took nothing from Attune Command's Consort or Sway for my initial stat.
All right.
So.
And a second question that's not like silly and about rules. Are you in Brightstone Painted Lady or Six Towers Painted Lady or Tenpenny Courts even like?
So the Painted Lady is our flagship location in Six Towers. The Venetian is the location in Brightstone, and I think she definitely does not live in the Tenpenny Courts. I feel like she is working at the Painted Lady.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that.
She's a little bit on the older side. I feel like only the best and the brightest and the most beautiful of the women were moved to the Venetian. And she has a young son who's, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5. And so even though she is still a beautiful flower, she's not in the spring of her youth anymore. And so, yeah, she lives and works at the Painted Lady in 6 Towers.
Is she like bitter about not being able to go to the Venetian?
No, I don't really think so. I think she understood like the business decision behind it. But I think she's also kind of ambitious herself, which is why she wants to step up in the world, so to speak, and help a little bit more directly in Vale's schemes. Is there anything in particular that you had your eye on, Asteyni?
That is a good question because I just got what I wanted. And usually when I'm going for stuff, I'm going for increasing our claims because they're useful.
Yeah. Would you say that securing now 10 penny courts, would that have changed our crew sheet at all?
Well, I mean, it gave us our personal clothier under our claims.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So we got the turf for it, and now we've turned it into our personal clothier. So, let me look. I would probably be like the next thing I would probably go for, mechanically speaking, is vice dens.
Okay.
Was that under Hawkers?
Yeah.
But the thing is, we don't have a lot of tier. But still, as long as we keep our heat down. We're going to get 1 die of coin during downtime, which reminds me, I forgot, at the end of downtime, I get 2 stash. So let me go ahead and put that in.
Well, hold on. Our rep here is how much? You're 2 away from pushing for your tier.
That's true. We are pretty close. Maybe what faction would the ladies know that Vale has a particular beef with, that she might have some information to hook us here?
There's a couple. I'll let Asteyni answer that, but I'm thinking right now they're not necessarily super, heart grudge holding, but someone that could help you guys where you're at right now would be more control of the press. And so I think if you maybe the ink rakes, but that's once again that's less malicious, as in they like to find stories to tear people down because it sells papers. Right?
But we could always use it to tear down our competitors.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I like that idea.
So helping out the ink rakes is something that they could do.
Okay. So I would like to propose that Otto, one of Otto's clients, one of her regulars, is an ink rake, and change one of my strange friends to reflect that. Or just say that the noble that's on her list here is has a investment in the ink rakes per se, as a noble, she just throws money at them because it seems like a good idea.
I'm not sure I'm willing to buy that.
Okay.
I say, but okay, here's the problem. Here's what I'm thinking. So on one hand, the ink rakes are trying to maintain the allure of respectability and being a good news source. So the idea that they're sponsored by benefactors like that, maybe that would throw some shade at that. But at the same time, maybe it doesn't matter. And also fucking free money, right? So
right.
Obviously they take No, you're right. Obviously they take the ink rakes just take donations at fundraising events, right?
Yeah.
They're not beholden. Yeah. These are pro bono, right? Or gratis. These are no strings attached financial, right?
Yeah, there definitely no strings attached. Don't worry about it. Wink, wink.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Kind of benefit. Yeah, so I think that unless someone else has a different idea, that Otto coming to Vale with this plan, this idea, and this kind of I know I'm reaching the end of my usefulness in my current capacity. I don't want to just boil water. As I forgot to mention that she's Tekarosi, but her only tell is that she can boil water with a touch. It's not really enough to deal damage to a person, but if she holds a cup for an amount of time, it'll cause the water to boil. That sort of thing. So yeah, I think that. That's my idea of a score.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we definitely struggled with the ink rakes in the past, so getting them to be more cooperative is definitely on my radar.
Another faction you might want to consider, the Foghounds, who, while we haven't seen them, the city's pretty vast. And the Foghounds are a faction that do a lot of smuggling and running through the underground canals that are out of service. Those are so thinking ahead, trying to anticipate Vale's needs. Having a solid underground supply lines could be good, that kind of stuff. But then again, like, could also just rely on the hive, and maybe the hive just hires them or something, right? But yeah, the rates could be a problem. Another one to solve. I'm just thinking out loud right now with different ideas.
I think I'm still not aware that the wraiths are a problem, though.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we can change that.
I mean, I know we can. I'm just saying it's right now. I'm not aware that they're a problem.
Yeah.
So do you have like a job lined up and ready to do for the ink rakes? Of like, hey, if we do this, then the ink rakes will totally be cool, or is it like, hey, we need to get in bed with the ink rakes? You guys figure it out.
Oh,
what Atto's doing?
What's your intention
Kelsa.
here? What do you want? You want to get the ink rakes amenable to your ambitions, right? You want them to be able to hear out what you guys have to say and maybe not run smear campaigns and that kind of, right?
We want to basically have our side of the story be more paramount than others, and we want to also supply them with juicy, awful stories about other people who are that are totally legit stories, and they can trust us.
Okay.
And
So what we're trying to do is find like the director of art and entertainment section and like bribe the shit out of them.
Yeah, something like that. But like, I feel like what I'm trying to say is that like Atto has the connection. Like, it's like, I know how to get us in to see that person, and I know that you can make it work from there.
Okay.
So do we want, like, would we like to have a scene of Atto coming to Vale?
I think it would be good to kind of introduce her. Like, that would be a good point to kind of show who she is as a person and
Awesome.
how it ties in.
Awesome.
Is Seer also there?
I think Seer like comes in like right at the start, and it's also the first time you've seen Seer again in like a couple of weeks maybe. I don't know how long the downtime has been, but like yeah.
And Jewel's just been missing. Who even knows?
I have she went out for Lizard on a Stick and never came back.
and neither did Costa. What's up with that? Yeah, and I think maybe it's been a few weeks since you guys have done a job per se, and then Atto, Akiato comes to Vale and says she's wearing a blouse and a skirt as is typical, and her long blonde hair is done up very neatly, as all of the women here are, and she comes to like, does Vale have like an office? And if so, would it be at the Venetian or would it be at the Painted Lady?
I feel like there is a back office at both locations. She probably spends more time at the Venetian since the Painted Lady is kind of up and running now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the Venetian.
Occasionally you come by.
But this is probably like one time where I'm coming by to check on it.
You're a regional manager.
So Akiato
Yes.
this opportunity to go and see you, and maybe this is like kind of like overstepping her bounds. She should be going and talking to what's the name of
Stasia?
Stasia, yeah, who's theoretically in charge.
Here's the thing, though. The ladies of the Painted Lady have always been my ladies. They were my ladies before the Painted Lady was even a thing.
So yeah, you know Akiato.
Maybe not super well, but
You know.
I would say that you would feel comfortable approaching me, even though you've seen me rise up and start to, you know, be really successful, and maybe that's intimidating, but also those are coattails you can grab onto.
So she like knocks on the door, not hesitantly, but like more politely.
Okay. I think you hear like a rustle of some papers. I'm probably going over the books, making sure everything's in order.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, enter.
And yeah, she comes in, and it says, "Your pardon, my lady, but I've got a bit of an idea for you."
I think you see me writing. I hadn't looked up, and when I hear your voice, I look up, and I say, "Oh gosh, that is a lot of rolls there."
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I look up and I say, "Oh, Atto, is it?"
Thank you for remembering me, miss. Now,
Please come in.
and she comes in and she specifically closes the door behind her. And she...
wait. When you close the door, like, Seer pushes in and, like, it's like, you know, like, yeah, I gotta be here. Like, he doesn't say it, but he's like, yeah, I totally gotta be here. And then lets you close the door, and he, like, kind of posts up next to the door.
Yeah, she kind of gives Seer an eye, like, this would be better without you here, but I can't say no. You're way ahead of me on the totem pole. And she turns back to Vale and says, "Well, I'm sure you don't follow my clients quite as closely as I do, so you may not realize it, but Lady Rosalind Kellis, she has ties to the Ink Rakes, and she can get us an introduction."
An introduction, you say?
Yes, I know. We've been messing around with them a couple of times on the side, and I think this is the right time to make a business arrangement, per se. Lady Vale, you've got more connections than most, and I think this would be a good one. We can get them on our side. Make sure that the things that paper's saying about us are the right ones.
They have been equal parts harmful and beneficial. I would rather make that arrangement more beneficial.
Exactly.
Set up the meeting.
All right then.
I appreciate your ambition, Atto.
Thank you, Lady Vale. I appreciate this opportunity.
Okay. So we can meet the noble, but also we can just kind of like push forward, because I know the point of contact you want to talk to with the Ink Rakes. So
Yeah, I think we can just skip over. There's like a brief montage of sexy times and messages, and then we cut to the meeting.
Cool. Yeah. So here's the thing that I'm thinking. We don't think we need a fortune roll here just yet. No, you know what? I'm sorry. You actually are. So let me just roll 46 real quick. 5. Okay. So there's a complication. What would this woman do? She's all right. Obviously, here's what it is. You guys go to the meeting location, and let me give you a little bit of a lowdown here. All right. So, you guys go to a old. You guys are going over back down to Silk Shore. Okay. Once again, for those maybe we don't remember, Silkshore is sort of like the working class part of the city, where Silkshore is very much like there's not a lot of crime going on here.
Mm-hmm.
If it is, it's kind of like, I don't know. Anyways, Silkshore is very much sort of like the the regular folks, the they're trying to get by, would be. And you guys are going to a small little row house in Silkshore. It's not a particularly nice area. You know, it's like one of those places where like a factory worker would raise their kids forever, right?
Mm-hmm. To become another factory worker.
So it's a dilapidated row house in Silkshore. You can see from like the windows themselves are boarded up, and then reboarded up. You see, imagine sort of like like this place was probably once nice, maybe like 30 years ago. Since then, sort of like the iron gate kind of like swings back and forth. Like one of those like half iron gates that comes up to like your hips or whatever, like the black row bars and spikes, and it like used to have like a nice front yard, and now in the front yard it's like just kind of like rocks and rubbish, and like bear traps are there. Some of them are armed, other ones have seemed to like just clapped and just never, just there's nothing on them, they're just out. The place looks almost like it's condemned. Is what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
You guys go inside, and it looks like this place looks like it's run by a conspiracy nut. Like you get to like you see like the rooms with like the strings and like newspaper clippings like everywhere, set up around this place. You see just bundles and bundles of old newspapers, like 30 years worth of newspapers are just in here. In fact, it's like almost hard to like move around because you have to like go through this labyrinth. Imagine like a hoarder's house, right? Just full of like paper magazines, art, like maps, photographs, everything you can think that's of printable material. Glues, scissors, pens, typewriting implementation, like gears and stuff are around as well. But the place sounds like eerily quiet, except you hear upstairs, you hear the sounds of a cocking of a gun, and you hear a woman voice shout out, be like, "You need to get out of here!"
We got her name before coming
here,
right?
I'm sorry. And this lady is named how should I put it? So I have her name here, but I'm not sure if you probably know both of this about her. So this is the home of Emmeline Savoy, otherwise known by the nom de plume of Doll. Emmeline is a Duskvol renowned writer. This would be like an author who would write for like The Atlantic. Like this is somebody, or like the New York Times. They are very, very good at what they do. They're a freelancer, though. They only pick up stories that are interesting to them. Right? And she starts coming down sort of like that old creaky stairs or whatever with like a double barrel shotgun, like looking for you guys. You can see that she has kind of like crazy eyes. What do you do? I imagine you guys are maybe in like the foyer, but like you're kind of like looking around or whatever.
So what were we told?
She looks scared more than like malicious, if that makes sense.
What were we told about her when we were going to meet her? Because she's a freelance writer, but I guess
that feels like a flashback of trying to find out stuff about her.
Yeah, she has a job for you. No,
okay.
She has a job for you about sabotaging a rival.
Okay.
And I think that
she said she'd clue you in on the details, but just tread lightly is like the stuff that that she's a little bit
I think
strung. I don't know, like
I was gonna say I want to basically call out to her and like name drop the noblewoman and be like, what was her name again? I already forgot. I didn't write it down because I'm dumb.
Emmeline?
Emily.
Yeah, I'll write it in
Thank you. Thank you for helping me take notes.
No, what was the noble's name?
pseudonym.
Oh, Rosalind Kellis? Lady
Okay.
Kellis? Yeah, and I think that she's, so Otto says, hey there, doll. Lady Kellis said that you needed some help.
Yeah, and I will, I should describe what she looks like. So she's wearing kind of like one of those, like, she's wearing like the, like, Peter Pan children nightgown kind of things. Only it's a little chilly, so she's also wearing like a poncho-y sweater over her as well. Carrying like this like oversized, antiquated like musket shotgun. And she's also wearing a tricorn hat. That's what she's wearing. In fact, it's the same kind of hat from the play. It's
fun for the whole family.
It's fashionable and it's nice. It's the Leviathan Hunter. What was it? Not the Leviathan Hunter's Lament. I'm sorry. I want to say it so it's recorded for posterity's sake. Fenris in chat mentioned it. They had a really good name for it. In the Leviathan's Wake was the name of the play. So that's canonical now.
It's canonical now.
Yeah, and
Thank you, Fenris, for that one.
So it's this captain's styled hat that has some sort of like flair or something about it that makes it unique. But it's obviously like it's some kind of like cheapy knockoff repro. But that's what she's wearing. And so she's like coming down the stairs and you call that out to her. And she's like, if that's true, prove it. Assuming that you know, what's the password? Or what's the code word?
Now I'm going to do a flashback to get the code word.
Yeah. You have the,
okay.
What would be the good code word? I think, something like, it has to be some kind of like poetic quote.
Oh gosh.
It has to be like a line from some obscure play or like poem. I got one. Hold on.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second. I'll grab a line.
Grab it. I was gonna go with something really dumb, so don't listen to my suggestion.
All right, here the password is, where are the songs of spring?
Ooh.
Good question.
Where are the songs of spring?
She's like still holding the gun, like a little shaky. You hear in the back something kind of like rattling a little bit, like something maybe like in the kitchen, shaking. And then she puts down the gun, and she's like, "Excellent, I've been making tea." And she like puts like the gun like over her back, and she's like, come along. It's making sure that I know, Lady Rosalind, we're expecting you. Come on. Sorry, you can never be too careful these days. And
of course, I understand.
She looks at you guys, and she like formally she like knows a lot about you guys, like a lot. In fact, she knows like Seer's report cards, like his academic records. Like she has a lot of dirt on you guys. Just in a way like, like you are, but instead of saying it in a way like, oh, I know this more than you or whatever, she says it in a very polite way, like, oh, Seer, former academic turned chemist. Been hearing a lot about your, you have quite the smart mind, but just a little bit of rebellious streak in you. And like, how's that working out? But before you have a chance to answer, she just like moves on, right? And then you guys go into the kitchen, and she has she brings out little like tea plates or whatever and like sets them down for you, and there's like a kettle getting ready to boil. Like it's like perfect timing. As soon as you guys get in the building, like it starts like to wheeze, and then she like immediately turns it off. You look around in the kitchen as well. There are numerous like you can see like tripwire lines, like kind of like all like feeding into like these like different bells set up around. Like this place was like booby trapped for like alarms for like motion and stuff. Yeah, she's like, here you go. I hope you like your tea hot. I only have one flavor, chamomile. And she starts serving you guys. So it's probably not as good over there at the Painted Lady and stuff, but this is all we can get over here in Silkshore. And and she wants to talk to you guys about the play and like the nuances about the play, about like the scenes and maybe a little bit of like literary analysis of like what did it mean when the person said this kind of thing. That she likes to talk, and she keeps rambling, and then every so often she'll stop. She'll look around, like, is anyone listening in on this, or like, is anything going on? And then she'll just immediately pick up again and just start talking like a million words a minute. Sorry, I know I just like blabbered on about this picture.
It's okay, you're in character, right?
Yeah. So this is the type of person you make, like. Very smart, a little like edgy. I don't want to say autistic, but she's missing a few screws. Somehow, you know what I mean? Like she's not behaving. This is not a normal person, but she's very brilliant, obviously. Just something is, something's rattling around up there, and that's just how she is, and.
I think he's here starting to know the way the group works. Usually is like posting up by the door as like a bodyguard type of deal, but like casually. He's probably not drinking the tea because he mistrusts like random crap. But he like pipes up about like literally literary analysis sometimes because it's like a thing that would come up in like his academics as you have to take it for credits. You have to do like a course in literature.
Oh boy, I think she lets you win a little bit of that. She lets you do that. In a way that perhaps you don't even realize. I think she is very good at what she does, and she's letting you score this victory. I will let Otto or maybe or Vale to maybe pick up that you realize that she's just like literally holding one hand behind her back, kind of like sparring about the scene analysis of this thing, being like, yeah, you're right, that's right, when really it's like that's extremely rudimentary. You know what I mean?
God,
so but she's like letting you do that, but she has a very like motherly kind of instinct. A lot, and she sees like you're like suspicious and stuff, and she's like, oh, don't worry, no, it's like you're safe here. I have all of these alarms up here, and she like sees like you're not really, you haven't touched your tea yet. Here, 1 second, I have just the thing, and she brings you over a couple. Seer, you would probably know what they exactly are. I'm imagining they're actually some kind of seed that will, or some kind of like that's seed or some kind of like powder residue or something that can like detect like toxins or poisons, or maybe it's the other way around where you have to like filter something through and it's safe. And she's like, I don't ever drink anything without one of these either. And it gives you like it gives the tea a really sour taste, but like it's definitely assures that it's not poisoned or whatever. And she's like, drinks this all the time. Please, come on. I have crimpets and stuff. Anything you guys want? She's like, just sit, relax, come on. Like, it's okay.
So this is the time where Seer is being like condescending about like, oh yeah, that would totally tell you all the poisons that could possibly be in tea. Yeah, there's like literally no poisons that could go in tea that would not get picked up. It's like, oh yeah, you're so smart and being safe and stuff. It's like, yeah, no, she's like diluting herself with this powder of charlatans.
Tell me, what would people do to prevent poisoning? What would they do?
I mean, like the really classic one is like have someone just eat it first, and then you see if they get sick.
Sure.
I mean, that's
But
what I always do.
Okay.
But like the thing is like that in alchemy, they're always one step behind, right? Like they just make a new poison, and it's like, oh shit, we have to find like a way to find it or a way to cure it,
Yeah, there's
and then they
definitely a
just
game.
make a new poison.
Okay. This is definitely a
Yeah.
game of brinksmanship between antitoxins and toxins.
Yeah, so like that powder, like yeah, it works for like a lot of normal stuff, but if you want to start, you know, if you're an alchemist yourself or if you have a lot of money, then you can just, you know, bypass that,
Okay.
right?
Cool. All right. Yeah. So she's once. Anyone else have anything like before we get down to business?
I think Otto is definitely drinking the tea, and she probably drinks it hot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that's part of her like Tekarosi heritage is to be able to just drink it with no consequence.
Yeah. I mean, Doll poured herself a drink as well, right? There were
No, I mean it being like literally boiling hot.
Oh, like not even cooling off. You can just drink
Yeah.
it. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I want that to be a thing.
Okay. Yeah, you extremely hot doesn't matter. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The China that you're drinking, I say China, but it's obviously not China because we're in. But you know what I mean. Like it's fine. It's fine quality, like delicate. This is niceware that she's brought out. Perhaps you spotted in her cupboards. They're basically empty except for these. There's just she like doesn't keep a lot of dishes or anything around. There's hardly.
What she has is very nice.
Yeah, she don't see like any food or whatever, and she's like, yeah.
Well, thank you for the tea.
I think also here in the kitchen, you might see a photograph of a family here. An old photograph, maybe like 30, 40 years old. Maybe even older. Like a really early old photograph of a family that's clearly was like in this house. Like you see like the gate or whatever, and like their people, like kids are like playing on the porch in the yard or whatever. It's like a. This is her family's house.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, she is going. Okay, she also still has a shotgun, which she probably like put up on a rack or something in the kitchen here. I feel like there's a lot of like just empty gun racks around this house.
The kitchen shotgun rack, as one has.
Yeah, right. It's just everywhere has like a gun rack, and so if she ever is in a room when she feels comfortable, she can put her gun away and hang out. She's like, yeah, you guys, you can never be too careful, you know. Never be too careful. These days and ages, never be too careful. Hearing a lot of weird rumors. Moving consulate, a lot of action there. You know, hearing a lot of, you know, I mean, ever since there's got to be a term for it. What is the term for the Skovlan refugee crisis? Besides just Skovlan refugee crisis. Is there a term? Do we call it I don't want to say the Skovlan question because that just seems I don't want to do that. But there's got to be. I just say the refugee crisis. Like, you know, ever since this refugee crisis and that unpleasantness, city's been kind of real busy lately. Real busy. Nobles have been keeping pretty quiet though. I'm not sure what's up with that. Never be too careful. Like she almost ends like every couple sentences with never be too careful.
I think every time she does that, I kind of look at all of her strings and bells. I don't say anything, but I glance at them.
Yeah, you can see. I mean, if you haven't put it together yet, she's kind of paranoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that what's going on here is Otto is kind of just like nodding along and like waiting for the opportunity to sort of present itself. I don't know, maybe like tying it into the play at some point. Like in the play, there's like a pivotal moment about two like a tit for tat moment where like the main character does a favor for an unsavory character and gets a favor in return that turns the tide or of whatever. And so as we're discussing stuff casually, we get to some kind of mention on that whole scene. And then it's been long enough. Otto is finally like, that's right. And you can be our Caro. Caro being the person who did the favor for the protagonists.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So, I think what she's gonna do... Okay, so she's gonna mention that... So she has a rival. Okay? Her rival writer, I guess is the best way of putting it, is a 2-bit hack. He goes by the name of the Leatherman. On the account of he likes to wear this old leathery mask and these robes out in public. When he's delivering out his speeches or whatever, but he's also a freelance writer. You know that he is very critical of. Okay, let me frame it this way. Dahl is probably would like write a case for like the case for the like integrating Skovlan refugees or whatever. This guy would be the opposite. He's like more conservative. This guy would be like on the Skovlan refugee crisis, why we should send them back or whatever, right? It's like very like politically the opposite side. She obviously can't do anything directly to him, right? And she makes it very clear. She's like, no harm should come to him. There shouldn't be any kind of threats, and also like there can be no tie back to her about this. What she needs, because I guess okay. Here's something I need to establish. I don't think the ink rakes are necessarily a single paper. I think they're a collection of like all the papers. Like this is like the group that kind of controls all of the papers, and so like the liberal side and the progressive sides and conservative sides all have their own papers, but they're all run through the same network, right? It's like it's like a single like media network run by like the ink rakes. It's sort of like the conglomeration of this. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So there might be some like a couple free presses here and there, but that not affiliated. But this is definitely one of the conservative leaning edges. Maybe it's called the Edge. I think it's called the Edge. Yeah. So they need your help capturing the Leatherman's latest piece before it goes to print. She wants to get a copy of it, so she can write over a rebuttal faster than she normally can.
But like a pre-rebuttal, so whenever whatever he writes comes out, like it's already like total crap,
she's
right?
Prepared. Yeah.
The kind of thing like where the statement and the rebuttal are both in the same issue of the paper.
Exactly. So she can do this and just eviscerate this guy.
Okay. Yeah.
She says now maybe you didn't pick up on this earlier as well. Perhaps because it was tied into the antitoxin thing. There's another use for that seed or like ground up powder. Like I imagine like it's actually seeds that you use a mortar or pestle to like grind. there's something else. It has very good like anti-cough type medicines. And so then she's like, probably there's a point when she's explaining this that she starts coughing, and like she like grabs her handkerchief and she's like coughing up like this black bile that you just see as she like wipes away her mouth. She looks fine again, but you see like the handkerchief has like black on it, and she is going to mention that due to health circumstances, I haven't been able to get out much. Normally I would do this myself, but I've been having to rely on freelance investigators like yourselves to help dig up some dirt.
I see.
Obviously, I can't pay anything up front, but I can promise you a share of the proceeds once the paper sells.
And I just kind of turn significant PC glance to Vale.
Because, yeah, I'm thinking about that. And the whole point of this wasn't necessarily to get money, although we like money, but it's to get in with the ink rakes. And so I'm wondering if instead if I should say, no, keep your money, but let us do business again type deal. Like, we're in together now sort of thing.
You want to pay for exposure?
I mean, not really. I want to basically say, no, keep the money, but now you're a little bit in our pocket. Like, you owe us one.
You want to do that? You want to say that?
I mean, not.
Are you talking that out right now with like us as players? Like, is that?
Yeah, it's more of a players thing. Like, this is what is going through my head.
Mm-hmm.
Turning down the money and instead trying to be like, no, you keep it, but you're just going to owe us down the line. And kind of slow burn this.
Yeah, I mean the other thing would be like if she's mostly a political writer that doesn't really help us directly, right?
But she's a connection that can help us make more connections. It's like
right. But like if we could trade like a bunch of introductions, right? Like you said, I think getting introduced like the next Ink Raker's office Christmas party or whatever, we get to also come and we get the schmooze.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
I just real quick. By the way, I just came up with it. The name of the neighborhood in Silkshore that you're in is called the Stables.
It's called what?
The Stables.
Oh, okay. So I think what happens when Atto gives me that significant PC glance is that I sit up a little bit taller and I say, doll, you don't need to give us any money. Keep it for yourself. Instead, I think what we're more interested in is perhaps connections. Of course, you know that I'm a business proprietor. I own several businesses here in Doskvol, and I'd be very interested in speaking to people who tend to write about who write economic pieces for the city.
Can you roll consort for me? All right. Well, I'm sorry. I can't ask you to make. Please, you're going to have to roll for this. Tell me what you're going to roll, and I will tell you then the action. Sorry.
It's
I can't ask you for an action roll. Tell me what this requires an action roll, though. The position is definitely controlled. The effect will be full. But I need you to roll here.
I will roll consort.
I will help for one stress.
Okay.
As I think that Atu's been kind of helping, and she's gonna pop her 2 cents in with like, a bit of a working relationship, you could say.
Okay.
I'm so good at rolling, you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
You can see she's a little bit she coughs again, and she's like, that's fine, that's fine. Not happy about it, but she seems kind of like, yeah, she doesn't have a lot of bargaining power right now, so she's okay with the idea of future jobs and helping you and kind of being indebted to you a little bit. You know, like she kind of like chafes, I guess is the best way to put it, but she's
Well, really,
not
all
in
we
a
were
position to
asking her
negotiate
to
with
do was to just make connections for
Yeah.
us.
I know, but she's uncomfortable with the idea of
Okay.
kind of like being under the thumb, but she understands she has to do it, giving her health and everything, so and deniability, so she's cool. She's gonna let it slide for now.
Oh, yeah, because, you know, paying us might be a way they could trace it back to you. It's a little better than if it's completely paperless, I could say.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You can never be too safe.
You can never be too careful.
All right. Cool. So maybe we go to break and we come back.
Oh, shoot, is it break time again?
Yeah.
Just about.
Dang.
Yeah, top of the hour.
All right.
So the first hour was a little bit long as well because we were talking a lot at the start. So that's all. All right. Anyways, yeah, we'll be back in 5 minutes and we'll start the rest of the job. So good work, everybody. All right, we'll be back in 5 minutes.